The Mitsubishi Evolution X is the final evolution of the legendary Lancer platform. It was launched in 2007 as a farewell to the fans of the rally-bred sedan. But how does it compare to its predecessors? Is it a worthy successor or a disappointing finale? Let's find out. The Evo X had a lot to live up to. It had to compete with the likes of the Subaru Impreza WRX STI, BMW M3, and Audi RS4. It also had to satisfy the loyal Evo fans who expected nothing less than perfection. To achieve this, Mitsubishi gave the Evo X a complete makeover, both inside and out. It had a new design with more refined aerodynamic looks and had a new engine with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that produced 291 horsepower and 300 feet-pounds of torque. The Evo X was not just an improvement over previous Evo models, it was also a revolution in the world of performance cars. It was one of the first cars to offer a dual clutch transmission, which offered faster and smoother shifts with 6 speeds, but it also offered a 5-speed manual transmission for the enthusiasts that prefer a clutch. Mitsubishi literally upgraded this car from top to bottom. The roof of the car was made out of aluminum to lower the center of gravity, while the suspension featured adaptive dampening systems and a rear differential that offered yaw control for better cornering. Now let's go ahead and take this thing back to Tokyo and see how it handles our lap. The Lancer Evolution 10 was the first to use the 4B11T motor, which replaced the 4G63T, which had been used in all previous Lancer Evolution models, so many purists actually reject this model. Although the 10 was the only one to get this new engine, it ended up being produced from 2007 through 2016, so it had a really long run all in itself. The previous 9 generations went from 92 to 2006, so they were replaced much more rapidly, with many models only lasting 1 year. This Lancer still holds true to the Evolution heritage in that it still handles extremely well and it's very powerful once fully built out. So it's a very honorable addition to the lineup. Many do notice the absence of the 7, 8, and 9, so hopefully we see at least one of those representing the Lancer Evolution in one of these upcoming updates. The all-wheel drive system in the Evo X was also more advanced than in previous generations. The previous generations were known as all-wheel control, and this was super all-wheel control. And unlike the Subaru, it didn't have a dial. You would actually select the ground that the vehicle was traveling on through the computer, and it would either be through tarmac, gravel, or snow. And then the computer would react appropriately using the clutches to make sure that the power was being sent to the correct wheel that was not slipping. This differential system was used again in the rear of the vehicle in order to aid in pushing the car through corners more effectively. We ended up seeing the front tires wear at about 10% and the rears were barely worn at around 1%, and the fuel was lasting for around 4 laps. We ended up with a lap time of 2 minutes and 1 second, .959. This puts it in 36th place behind the Civic Type R from 2020 and just in front of the 1958 Corvette. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it handles with the engine swap. The Evo 10 with the Suzuki engine swap is a car that looks amazing on paper. It's got a max horsepower of 1,186 and the torque is up at 814. That's over 651 above the horsepower of the stock variant and an additional 384 torque on top of the stock motor that's built out. The weight went up 68 pounds, bringing it up to 2,564, and it ended up only picking up 73 performance points, bringing the total to 779. But that's not where the story ends. The problem with this car, and the reason that I actually wouldn't recommend doing this swap, is the car has a massive turbo lag. It doesn't get out of its own way until around 5,800 RPMs, and then it peaks out just over 8,000. So you've only got around 2,000 RPMs to play with. And with the Evo, it ends up actually only having a 5-speed transmission, so you can't really gear it to avoid that lag. In Gran Turismo's current layout, even running into traffic brings that lag into play and causes a lot of problems. So if they eventually add in a hill climb series or something like that, which the Escudo was actually built for, it may be time to reevaluate. I just wouldn't recommend it with the way the game is today. We ended up seeing tire wear around 20% on the fronts and around 10% on the rear. And even though it is a much more powerful motor, the Evo got 5 laps out of it as opposed to the 4 of the stock version. We ended up crossing the line at 1 minute 51 seconds .384. This is actually pretty high up on the list at 6th place behind the C7 Corvette and just in front of the engine swap Supra, but I still wouldn't necessarily recommend this car just because of the turbo lag and the challenges that it causes. Now if you do specifically build this car up for specific tracks, you can get rid of a lot of that lag, but overall there are still better choices. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.